What stands out in Louis Theroux's new documentary, Inside the Manosphere, out today on Netflix? The Manosphere, of course, refers to the online ecosystem of content that ranges from just being male-focused all the way up to this increasingly toxic, misogynistic material that's radicalizing scores of young men. If you only know about it from the think pieces that bemoan it, getting like a first-hand look is going to be pretty shocking and pretty uncomfortable for a lot of people, as it should be. It is scary, uncomfortable stuff. But if you're concerned about boys and men and the role that both play in our society, I would also argue it's worth a watch. Now, here are the three major themes that I pulled from it. One, it's all about the money. Two, it all comes from a lack of love. And three, it's all a lie. In terms of the money, the manosphere can be understood partially as a pipeline. It meets the disaffection of young boys and young men with angry, inflammatory content in order to draw their eyeballs in. But ultimately, the point is to move them down the funnel towards monetizable content, be it, success coaching or some scammy investments app for getting rich quick. My point here is that in my read, the Manosphere influencers are a lot less interested in promoting their content for like the sake of its worldview, and more so that they can make young men angry and confused enough to open their wallets. Now, regarding the men of the Manosphere, both its influencers and the young men who make up the audience, it was striking to me how little love or access to positive role models there is for many of these men. That, of course, doesn't justify any bad behavior, but I think it helps explain how we got here. One of the fans confessed this particularly bleak worldview when he told his favorite influencer, quote, "Life is a man, you're born without value." And then a few moments later, the influencer said to him the two things he always says when he meets his fans in real life is one, I love you, and two, you can do anything. Those are positive messages that all people need to hear. The problem is they're wrapped in the manosphere with this incredibly toxic ideology. Also, I just thought it was so striking how different these influencers are on and off camera, right? On camera, they degrade women, they flaunt their success with them, they flaunt their wealth, they flaunt really all the elements of toxic masculinity that you can imagine. Off camera, they all strive to assure Louis that they're like good guys with the right values who are trying to do the right thing. Some of the most powerful scenes come when we see these men with their long-term partners or their mothers, and Louis asks the women about some of the things that the men have said, and we see them try to either like walk it back or soft step it for the sake of the women in their lives. It's jarring and revealing to say the very least, and again, you get the sense that these guys are desperately afraid of being found out to not actually be the people they are on camera. Now, the manosphere continues to play a huge role in our society and increasingly in our politics. It's offering all the wrong answers to all the right questions of who am I and what is my value and how can I go about living an abundant, healthy, happy life. We can and should continue to critique its toxic elements, but personally, I worry that it'll never be truly overcome until we can offer young men healthier alternatives. And that's going to require a range of society-wide and community-driven approaches. Like I said, I'd love for you to watch the movie, and I'd love to hear what you think before or after down in the comments.